Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hey, you guys, welcome back. Welcome back to J is for Justice. My name is Jay. I am your host this evening, and I have breaking news, which you probably already saw, but Barry Morphew, the husband of Suzanne Morphew, has been indicted on first-degree murder. Yes, he has. It finally happened. I think he thought he got away with it. I think he thought that he was living his life in Arizona because that's where he was arrested. But no, Mr. Morphew. So let's do a little recap. Welcome in, everybody. Potato, it's great to see you this evening. And Shell, you let Discord know I was live. I went a little early because I was excited to go through stuff with you. So we're going to go through the indictment, and we are going to take a look at some videos, and then we're going to watch the press conference. So hoping to get through all of that before we go live. Hello, Scott H. Welcome in. If you guys could hit the like button, we are going to go ahead and get right into it this evening. Happy Friday, by the way. Our JFK Live has been pushed off to Sunday. So we're going to be going through the JFK Oversight Committee and go over what they hid from us on Sunday. So just to give you a recap, Suzanne Morphew was 49 at the time, and she went missing on Mother's Day in 2020. But they did not find her remains until 2023. So this shows you in October of 2023 was when they found her remains. And here we are in June of 2025. That shows you how long these investigations sometimes can take. But they found her remains in, and I'm sure I'm going to butcher this, but Sagashi County in Colorado. But a grand jury returned an indictment after meeting this week, charging Barry Morphew with first-degree murder in the connection with his wife, Suzanne. The 12th Judicial Grand Jury returned the indictment on Wednesday. Morphew was taken into custody in none other than Gilbert, Arizona. Gilbert probably sounds very familiar to you guys because that's where Melanie and Lori were living in Lori Vallow in Arizona. Gilbert. He will be extradited to the San Luis Valley to face his charges. So we do have the indictment. We're going to read through that. I want to get through this before I know Melanie Pulowski. Let's bring her in next. Gilbert, just stay busy. Just keep cuffing them, right? Send more handcuffs to Gilbert. They're going to need them. The body cam of Melanie Pulowski came out. Did you guys see that? We're going to be going over that. Hey, Good Gravy. Hey, Puffin. All right, here's the indictment. The people of the state of Colorado versus Barry Morphew. Count 1, murder in the first degree. Count 1, murder in the first degree after deliberation F1. On or about May 9th to May 10th, 2020, in the tribal of the state of Colorado, Barry Morphew unlawfully, feloniously, after deliberation, and with the intent to cause death of a person other than himself, caused the death of Suzanne Morphew. Probable cause for count 1 as follows. At 5:46 p.m. on May 10th, 2020, Mother's Day Sunday, Suzanne Morphew was reported missing to police by her neighbor. The last known person to see her alive was her husband, Barry Morphew. Investigators responded to the Morphew residence at 19057 Puma Path near Salida, Colorado, to investigate the missing persons report. The house was locked, and Suzanne Morphew was not home. Her vehicle was in the garage. Her blank vehicle was in the garage. There were no signs of forced entry, and her bike was missing. Later that evening, her bike was located down a hillside, off a dirt road between her house and Highway 50. The bike was located less than a mile from the Morphew home. Suspicious. On May 14, 2020, her bike helmet was located 10 meters off the side of Highway 50, approximately 1.52 miles west of the Morphew home. Barry Morphew was interviewed and told police that he set his alarm and woke up at 4:30 a.m. on May 10th. He told police that he left at 5 a.m. for a pre-planned work trip to Broomfield, Colorado. According to Barry Morphew, Suzanne was still fast asleep in bed when he left the house at 5. He told police he planned to ride her bike that day. She planned to ride her bike that day. Barry Morphew stated upon arriving in Broomfield, he checked into a hotel before shortly leaving for the job site. He told police that he received a call about 5 p.m. on May 10th from his neighbors while physically at the Broomfield job site. He thought that would cover his ass. The neighbors told Barry Morphew that his daughters were concerned because they could not reach their mom all day. And it's Mother's Day. Barry instructed the neighbors to check the house and specifically to look for her bike. The neighbors reported to Barry that neither Suzanne nor the bike were at the house. Barry then instructed them to call the sheriff. Police interviewed one of Barry's employees scheduled to assist him with the Broomfield job. The employee told law enforcement that the employee and Barry were not planning to leave for Broomfield until the evening hours of May 10th. They were supposed to drive together. So no excuse for Barry to have to leave so early. Just saying. Instead, Barry left without telling the employee. Barry called the employee at about 11:18 a.m. and informed that employee that he had left without them. When the employee arrived in Broomfield on Sunday evening, the employee noticed that Barry Morphew had failed to bring the proper tools and materials for the job and had not even yet arrived at the job site. Review of the cameras at the hotel and the nearby businesses revealed that Barry was in the Broomfield area for about 9 hours and 45 minutes. Of those hours, he spent less than 1/2 hour at the job. Instead, 2 brief visits to the job site area, electronic evidence and cameras from businesses, showed him driving around to various locations and discarding unknown items in separate trash cans. Hotel footage then showed Barry Morphew arriving back at his hotel room and remaining inside the room from 12:34 to 5:55. So what was old boy doing in there from 12:34 to 5:55? And was he alone? Was he alone there? Inconsistent with his statement to police, he was in the hotel and not the job site when he received the call about his wife, Suzanne, being unresponsive and missing. So he lied and said he was at the job site, and they tracked him to the hotel. In early interviews with Barry, he told law enforcement that his marriage to Suzanne was the best and that the two had a wonderful weekend together. When Barry was asked whether Suzanne would say anything different Barry said, "No." Barry Morphew's statements about his marriage to Suzanne were inconsistent with other witness accounts and evidence located. Specifically, investigators learned that Suzanne confided in people that she was unhappy in the marriage in the weeks and months leading to her disappearance. She discussed plans to divorce Barry Morphew with her close friend. She maintained documented notes of problems in the relationship, recovered from electronic devices, and the physical search of the home. Suzanne had been having a secret affair with an old acquaintance who lived out of state. She communicated with him daily over LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Suzanne's last known electronic message to anyone was to this person on May 9th, 2020 at 2:11 p.m., just 32 minutes before Barry Morphew returned home that day. Ooh, now that's chilling, guys. Her last known message was only 32 minutes before her husband arrived home, and her last known message was to her boyfriend. An overall timeline of the week of her disappearance shows that the disappearance coincided with her daughter Blank, the only other occupant of the Morphew residence, leaving on a pre-planned trip out of state. Because of this, Suzanne and Barry expected to be alone starting on May 5th to either late in the day on the 10th or into May 11th. Suzanne drove Blank to Gunnison, Colorado on the 5th to depart with her sister and a friend on a planned road trip. After May 5th, Barry and Suzanne were alone at the house. A forensic download of Barry's cell phone revealed that Barry had a deleted text chain with Suzanne, from which a single image text remained. A screenshot of this single text message was saved on Barry Morphew's phone on May 6th of 2020. That image revealed a text from Suzanne that stated, "I'm done. I could care less what you're up to and have been for years. We just need to figure this out civilly." On May 11th, 2020, authorities commenced a search of the Morphew residence that spanned several days. The state of the residence and vehicles showed no signs of a break-in or an intruder. Even with no signs of a break-in or intruder, law enforcement collected items of potential evidence in DNA swabs. DNA analysis of the swabs collected produced several DNA profile mixtures consistent with what would be expected in the common areas of a home or a vehicle. So there you go. There's your Idaho 4 question. Sounds just like Idaho 4, right? There's a lot of DNA everywhere. The mixture profiles were processed through offender databases and were compared to the profiles of known individuals who may have been present in the vehicles or the residence. The results did not lead to any stranger or intruders. An expert in DNA analysis testified that law enforcement provided analysts with one of the partial profiles developed from the glove box of Suzanne Morphew's vehicle for further investigation using a keyboard search. This allowed for additional comparisons to profiles in more databases with less stringent quality control standards than the national DNA system, for the limited purpose of creating possible leads. I did not know this. I did not know that they had a keyboard search that allowed for a more lenient search, if you will, that then gives them a limited lead for them to then go with, if you will. That expert further tested that there were matches to outside databases nationwide. That term match, used by DNA analysis, does not mean identical. Rather, a match only means that there were other profiles that could not be excluded. At the number of the loci available from the partial profile for comparison. Over my head. I know nothing about DNA. I don't know what they're talking about, but we'll keep going. The expert explained that she then compared the matches from those databases to the partial profile from the mixture on the glove box. And they excluded those out-of-state profiles as not originating from the same contributor in all but 3 instances. Finally, the expert explained that just because the profiles from these databases matched at the limited loci available for comparison, it did not mean that any of the people from the out-of-state profiles were the same person that contributed to the profile on the glove box. Law enforcement investigated those 3 partial matches obtained from 3 separate out-of-state sources and found no connection to the case. Law enforcement located a locked gun safe in the garage during the search of the Morphew residence. Inside the gun safe were the following: a dart rifle, a tranquilizer rifle that was positioned in front of the safe. Law enforcement also found packages of New Dart brand tranquilizer darts in the gun safe. The packages of darts included capped hypodermic needles inside of them, which were designed to load the darts. Law enforcement found one of these needle caps in the dryer after the dryer's contents were removed. Law enforcement also found men's shorts among the contents of the dryer that were removed prior to finding the needle cap. The shorts appeared consistent with Barry Morphew's that he was wearing on May 9th. No tranquilizer formula was located during law enforcement's search of the home and vehicles. Police investigated numerous electronic devices and Suzanne Morphew's social medias, among other things, for proof of life. That investigation revealed that Suzanne Morphew had not communicated with anyone after 2:11 p.m. on May 9th, 2020. Her last possible activity on any account protected by password access was at 3:08 p.m., over 24 hours prior to her being reported missing. Records showing her typical use of electronics and social media demonstrated that this was inconsistent with her pattern. Additionally, witnesses indicated they attempted to communicate with Suzanne, but received no response from her. They indicated that her lack of response was definitely out of the ordinary. Barry's electronics were also analyzed. A download of the infotainment on Morphew's truck recovered telematics data showing the location and activity of his truck at certain times on May 9th and May 10th. A download of his cell phone showed additional location information. Based on the data, he returned to the Morphew residence at 2:43 p.m. on May 9th, 2020, and he did not leave until the morning of May the 10th. The download of Barry's phone registered events related to his phone. An expert forensic analyst determined that some of these events were in fact Barry's phone being turned off during the time frame of May 9th into May 10th, 2020. Are you okay, B-Tim? Turning off a cellular device disables its ability to record location information. Specifically, the forensic analyst noted that Barry's phone download showed it was turned off at 2:47 on May 9th, only a few minutes after he arrived home. He got home and turned his phone off. Approximately 10:17, the phone turned back on. Barry's phone was turned off again at 4:32 a.m. on the 10th, prior to him leaving at 5 o'clock. It wasn't turned on again until 5:37, when it showed him on the road in the area of Johnson Village, Colorado. Testimony established the times Barry turned off his phone corresponded to periods of time of significance in the case where location information was unavailable. Similar analysis of the info on Barry's infotainment in his truck showed an irregular gap in recorded activities, specifically from 3:49 a.m. to 8:10 a.m. There's no recorded data. An indication of no truck activity is inconsistent with other facts developed from his phone, surveillance, and his statements. Specifically, data showed Barry arrive at his address at 2:43 and then registered various activities throughout the area. It ceased at 9:52. Ooh, so maybe they're thinking this happened on May 9th, guys, not even on the 10th. The telematics showed activities resume from 3:25 to 3:49. Hold on, I've got to shut the door. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so the telematics then showed activities resume from 3:25 to 3:49 on May 10th at a GPS location consistent with his driveway. Barry reported to law enforcement he was asleep during that time frame from 3:49 to 8:10. The infotainment system did not register any data despite the fact that Barry's cell phone indicated the device was in Johnson's Village on 5:37 a.m. And that Barry reported being in his truck traveling to Broomfield at this time. When recorded data becomes available again in the records from the infotainment at 8:10 on May 10th, corresponding GPS showed that Barry had already arrived in Broomfield. This gap in data is inconsistent with the telematics in the days and weeks leading up to this event. Phone records for both Suzanne and Barry were analyzed by investigators. The FBI CAST team analyzed both phones to determine location and usage. In Suzanne's phone, there was no indication of any user-initiated activity after 2:43 on May 9th. Suzanne's cell phone device continued to connect through RTT data with the cell tower that services their home, and it continued connecting from May 9th into the early morning of May 10th. These automated data connections were consistent with the tower reaching out to the phone to determine its location. After 4:23 a.m. on May 10th, Suzanne's phone ceased to connect at all, ever again. Just 8 minutes later, Barry's cell phone showed his phone ceased to connect starting at 4:31. And then it shows it powering off at 4:32. Suzanne Morphew's cell phone never registered on any towers other than the tower consistent with the Morphew residence from the time Barry got home at 2:43 until it ceased activity altogether at 4:23 on May 10th. Despite searches for the device, her phone has never been located. Wow. Police interviewed people that knew Barry prior to his move from Indiana to Colorado in 2018. These witnesses told law enforcement that Barry was a deer farmer in Indiana. Several individuals told LE that Barry used a specific tranquilizer called BAM to sedate and transport deer on his deer farm. Barry Morphew admitted to using BAM in both Indiana and Colorado. Specifically, he admitted to using BAM as recently as April of 2020, so a month before. On September 22nd, 2023, human remains were found in a shallow clandestine grave in Sagashi County, Colorado, near Highway 17. The remains were found a few hundred feet down a dirt road off 17. This location was less than an hour south of the Morphew residence by main highways. The remains were determined to be those of Suzanne. The majority of her bones were recovered. Many of the bones were significantly bleached. Along with Suzanne's bones, oh my goodness. Along with Suzanne's bones, law enforcement recovered a cancer port and items of clothing, some of which were consistent with bike clothing Suzanne was known to wear. There was no visible perimortem trauma observed. A board-certified forensic anthropologist, a botanist, and an entomologist all analyzed the remains, and several observations were noted. There was a distinct lack of bug activity, which was inconsistent with the remains having decomposed at that location. Whoa. The clothing item lacked evidence of decomp, which was inconsistent with Suzanne wearing the bike clothes at the time her body decomposed. Additionally, there was a lack of animal predation on the bones. There was only a very small amount of desiccated soft tissue found on a few of the bones. And there was no hair mass located. All these features would have been expected if it had been the original gravesite where the decomp occurred. Y'all. Where'd he have her body for 3 years? The forensic anthropologist opined that based on these factors, it was unlikely Suzanne decomposed from a fresh body to a skeleton at this location. The El Paso County Coroner's Office conducted an autopsy in addition to standard toxicology. We've got about 7 minutes until the press conference. In addition to the standard toxicology, the coroner's office conducted additional toxicology testing. They were looking for the presence of a chemical mixture known as BAM. The chief toxicologist tested Suzanne's bone marrow for the presence of BAM. All 3 of the individual chemicals that comprise BAM were present. Additionally, the metabolite for butyrophenol was present. The presence of B metabolite eliminated the possibility of postmortem BAM contamination. Okay, so they know it happened before she died. They determined it homicide by unspecified means in the setting of butyrophenol, asparone, and medetomidine intoxication. So a pharmacologist and a medical doctor testified about the toxicology testing done to determine the presence of BAM. They go in to explain how they test it. They say that BAM was, back in 2020, BAM was sold by only one company in the U.S. Wow. And could only be obtained by a prescription from a veterinarian. BAM must be administered into the bloodstream to be as effective, as skin and GI tract do not absorb it effectively. It does not cause sedation instantaneously, but it takes several minutes to take effect. BAM is designed not to be lethal and comes with reversal agents in the kit. So they say there's been no studies on humans to see if it would kill them all right away, kill people or not. I know, Barry Marrow Morphew. Records were obtained for BAM prescriptions related to Morphew. And all, okay, so they looked there, they looked where she was located for these, see if people bought BAM. The record showed that Barry obtained and filled several prescriptions while living in Indiana. His last prescription was in March of 2018. He obtained multiple kits that contained multiple doses. Hang on, I want to get this press conference up here so we don't miss it if it starts. Give me a second. Oops.
If you
I want to be on standby. Okay, we're on standby. So we'll hear it. If it pops in, sorry about the jump scare, but that's what it is. Okay. So, records showed no private citizens in the surrounding counties had purchased any BAM from 2017 to 2020. So no one in Colorado even bought the shit. So they're like, no one around here would have even had it. Ultimately, the prescription shows that when Suzanne disappeared, only one private citizen living in that area. Ooh, listen to this. Ultimately, the prescription records show that when Suzanne disappeared, only one private citizen living in that entire area of the state had access to BAM, Barry Morphew. As to count one, here we go. This is the grand jury indictment right here. Decided on the 18th of June, 2025. All right, they just flicked to the live. They said it's going to begin soon, so I got my eye on it. It says $3 million cash only. Cash only. No, Suzanne had a cancer report. She was a survivor of cancer. So it says no leaving state of Colorado, GPS unit, surrender your passport, and compliance with mandatory protection order. And that's it. That's the indictment. Now let's switch over to our live coverage. There we are. Stream will begin soon. While we wait for that to begin, I have another thing to show you. So, Chris McDonough, about 10 months ago, while everybody was immersed in the Sebastian Rogers case, I happened to catch this video that he did. And love him or hate him, here he was. Here he was out in Arizona, Cave Creek, Arizona. And he's driving around this mobile home park, like a mobile home park or like a campground. And I was like, wow. Well, McDonough seemed to find him, right? I'm not going to play the music, but he doesn't really, point out anything. He just kind of does this drive around, and we'll watch that until this presser begins. Credit to the interview room with Chris and Karen. So he's driving through this place, and I'm not sure what Barry was driving at the time or what camper was his. He does kind of slow down by a certain camper. But we will see some pictures of Barry hanging out in the local bars. I'm not sure if he had an alias that he was using or what was going on, you guys. Shell, I want to celebrate 61 months of your membership. And I know you've been here longer than 61 months. That's just when the members came around on YouTube. But thank you so much, girl. I appreciate you so much. Everything that you do. And who you are. Thank you so much. So he was 200 miles away from the Mexican border. See that? He slowed down right here. I'm thinking that tango right there was Barry's. Something right here was Barry's. Cause see how he slowed down right here? I think maybe that camper over there on the right is him. I don't know though, for sure, because it's just music. So they kind of left it to the imagination, if you will. His alias was Lee Moore, for real. So then he's going to take us to the nightlife in this little area that Barry was living in. Watch this. Hey, Heather, what's up? Hey, Cheesy. Hey, Beans. Okay, so here we go. Look at. They had their eyes on him. I bet he felt like I don't know. I don't know if he was feeling the heat or what, but it looks like Mr. Barry had a plan Z on 8/5 of 2024. He filed a quit claim deed and he deeded his property over to his daughter Mallory. Went through on the 7th of August of last year, 2024, right around the time when McDonough is driving by the place. Yikes. I always feel like. I don't know if he caught her cheating. Like, it seems weird. The last text she sent was to her boyfriend. So here we go. This is the nightlife in the area, the local bar scene. So Barry must have seen this and been like, oh my God, they know where I'm at. See, whether you love or hate McDonough, personally, Shane Culkin is here for the news. I'm so glad you're here, Shane. I know you followed this case. Look at him. I knew it. Of course he killed his affair-having wife. So here we are, the nightlife bar scene. McDonough got some kind of a tip off. And we're going to see some photos of Barry in the bar talking. Hi, Northern Beans. I see you in green, honey. He's talking to a woman, and it looks like he might be giving the woman his number. So McDonough visited the local bars and inquired. He was only 200 miles away from the border. There he is. There he is. Thinking what? Thinking he got away with it? I'm sorry, he wasn't given his number. He was shaking her hand. Can you imagine what this woman must think now? Hopefully she didn't go home with him. Hopefully she dodged the bullet. You live near there, Tony? Oh, wow. So McDonough went and inquired around and asked if they had seen this guy, and yeah, they sure did. They sure did. Oh, yeah, he does look sleazy. Yep. So here's just a picture of the bar. I think that might be Barry, or not the bar. This is Barry, I think, at a counter ordering food. You see the yellow dot? I don't know who that is. I'm not really sure. I shouldn't say that. Because I'm not sure what he's pointing at here. I don't understand the arrows. He was always skeezy. I'm sorry, I'm lost on the arrows. If someone knows what McDonough's pointing at, I'm not really sure. That can't be Barry because he didn't block out Barry's head. So he's showing us an establishment. I don't know if those are cameras or what. Keep on rocking me, Scott Briggs. I don't know why he keeps showing the exit sign. I don't know what. Oh, the camera up there. See? They're showing Barry. Look, there's so many cameras in here. You're caught on camera. And then he showed a thing about skeletons in case Barry saw it, because obviously they found her skeleton. And it shows everything that they can read off the bones. It says determine cause of death. This is actually a really nice part of the video. I'll play it because they haven't started it yet. But this is a really nice thing with pictures of Suzanne. I'll play the music too. She was so pretty. So pretty.
Oh my child, I know you're hurt and you can't let go. It's not your fault and you don't deserve all the bad and the hurt. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. All your life you've tried to be a good man inside. Did everything that you thought you should. Didn't seem to do you any good. I know you've tried so hard. I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer in this life? But don't give up. Just hold on tight. It'll be alright. I know you tried so hard. I know you've done your part.
Okay, so I'm assuming this is Barry's white truck because remember we saw a white truck in the Arizona coverage and he stops on this house, so I don't know what the significance is. I think this is a video that only Barry would understand, to be honest with you, but she is very beautiful and the presser hasn't started yet, Crimes. We're still waiting. I'll refresh, but it's live. They just haven't gone to the presser yet, so
I know you've done your part. It's not fair. You did your time. How much longer will you suffer?
Suzanne, if anyone is out there that can hear this, that has you, please, we'll do whatever it takes to bring you back. We love you, we miss you, your girls need you. No questions asked. However much they want, I will do whatever it takes to get you back. Honey, I love you. I want you back so bad.
remember that plea. Oh, I didn't know that was her childhood home. Wow. Thank you for letting us know that, Linda Lou. That was a really nice video. I mean, interview room did a nice job on that. But that speech, did you guys? It was kind of low. Listen.
Suzanne, if anyone is out there
Oh,
that can hear this,
here we go.
I'm the Director of Administration for the Office of the District Attorney here in the 12th Judicial District.
Woohoo! Here we are, guys.
Standing behind me is District Attorney Ann Kelly, that is Kelly, who you'll be hearing from shortly. I also have Sheriff from Saguache County, Dan Warwick, Warwick, Chaffee County Sheriff Andy Rorick, Rohrich, and Colorado Bureau of Investigation Agent in Charge Chris Adams, ADAMS. After District Attorney Ann Kelly's statement, she'll be available for a few questions. Any other questions after that can be directed to media@da12.state.co.us. Thank you.
I appreciate the members of the media that are here today. I scheduled this briefing to provide an update on the investigation that has been in the hearts and minds of the people of Chaffee County since Mother's Day of 2020. Suzanne Morphew was reported missing on Mother's Day 5 years ago. Law enforcement has never stopped working to obtain justice for this mother of two, this daughter, this sister, and this beloved member of the Chaffee County community. Through the tireless efforts of the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, the Saguache County Sheriff's Office, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, I can announce today that the 12th Judicial District Grand Jury returned an indictment. The grand jury has indicted Barry Morphew on the single count of murder in the first degree. Law enforcement, the Chaffee County community, and Colorado as a whole has never stopped fighting for justice for Suzanne. Cold case homicides are tremendously difficult. They're difficult for the families of the victims and the communities who wait patiently for answers. While it may seem at times that the world forgets about these victims, I can assure you that my law enforcement partners and Colorado's law enforcement community do not forget. Every unsolved murder is a tragedy, and we must never give up on our efforts to find answers in these cases. My office will be prosecuting the indictment as Suzanne's remains were found in Saguache County, which is a county within my jurisdiction, the 12th Judicial District. I am extremely appreciative of Michael Doherty, who is the elected district attorney in Boulder County. He has consistently committed material resources to small rural DA's offices like mine to assist in the sometimes Herculean efforts to bring justice for victims in rural areas of our state. His commitment to rural Colorado he's continued his commitment with this case. He's provided me with the assistance of a chief deputy in the Boulder County District Attorney's Office to assist me with the investigation and the prosecution. Colorado's community of prosecutors is committed to assisting wherever the need arises. In addition to Mr. Doherty's assistance, District Attorney John Walsh of the Denver District Attorney's Office has committed to providing me with appellate guidance during the case proceedings. So today I have with me Chaffee County Sheriff Andy Rorick. I stand united with Sheriff Rorick and Under Sheriff Alex Walker. I stand united in announcing this indictment. Through this process, I have seen firsthand how deeply Sheriff Rorick and Under Sheriff Alex Walker and the entire Sheriff's Department in Chaffee County cares about this case. I am proud and appreciative of our cross-jurisdictional partnership and their hard and excellent work. I also stand with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, who has never wavered in its commitment to this investigation, providing essential intelligence and investigative resources and expertise through the years. I also recognize and appreciate our continued partnership with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation. The Colorado Bureau of Investigation has done incredible work, and their CBI agents and analysts have worked very, very hard to advance the goal of finding answers in this investigation. Here representing the CBI is Agent in Charge Chris Adams with CBI's Pueblo office. I also stand with Saguache County Sheriff Dan Warwick, who is here with me as well. He and his office immediately answered the call to action, when Suzanne's remains were found in the county he represents. Sheriff Warwick and his deputies are an essential part of this team, responding to the recovery of Suzanne's remains with the highest level of dignity and professionalism. I also want to continue to recognize what I have come to expect in my years as a prosecutor, and that is multi-jurisdictional and multi-state cooperation and partnership. I want to recognize the Arizona Department of Public Safety, who immediately responded to our team's request for assistance in locating and arresting Barry Morphew in the Phoenix area. Mr. Morphew will be held by Arizona authorities pending extradition proceedings in that state. And upon conclusion of those proceedings, Mr. Morphew will be transported to Alamosa County to stand trial on the indictment. This indictment has been unsealed upon the arrest of Mr. Morphew. I asked for this briefing to provide you with an update and provide information to the community. Me and my team recognize the importance of being laser focused on the prosecution and to speak with one voice. And so for that reason, all of the agencies that have been involved in getting us to this place, as well as the prosecutors that have been willing to assist me in this investigation and prosecution, they have all been instructed to send any media requests to my office, and so that's what I'd ask of you. In an effort to be transparent, I'd like to thank the the Office of the Judicial District in this district for making the indictment immediately available, and so you can get a copy of that indictment on the State Judicial's website. It is linked on a page labeled Cases of Interest, and it's under Alamosa. Barry Morphew is presumed innocent in this case and that presumption remains with him unless and until he is convicted at trial. And so once again, thank you for allowing me to provide an update to the community on this very important case. And I can take a couple of questions if you have them. Yes, sir.
What was Barry doing in the Phoenix area?
And thank you for the question. The question was, what was Barry doing in the Phoenix area? I appreciate the question, and that information was still being gathered. We have been working very, very hard to make sure that we run down anything we can with respect to this investigation, and our law enforcement officers will certainly be following that. Yes, sir.
In the indictment, you noted a pharmacology expert testified that ban would render the recipient unable to resist any constriction.
I appreciate her repeating the question. I like when they do that because I can't hear them.
Killed her, or that she was so incapacitated she was strangled herself.
And thank you for that question. I am looking forward to having our team present all of those facts in a court of law. Obviously, I would like to be able to provide my comments, but my ethical obligations will not allow me to. However, I am very appreciative of the Judicial Department for making that indictment available, and I look forward to having our team present this case in court. Yes, ma'am.
Why now?
That's a great question. And so we, as prosecutors in Colorado and law enforcement in Colorado, we are very dedicated to making sure that we don't forget the victims of cold case homicides. But we also understand that it is so important to make sure that we have done everything we can to bring a case to court. And we are proud of the work that we've done. Every victim of homicide, murder in Colorado deserves that kind of attention, deserves that kind of work from law enforcement. And I would say that having the opportunity to work on these cases and to bring justice for these victims has been very important to me. Yes? Yeah, let me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Was Morphew surprised at all when he was taken to custody? Was he expecting this?
And thank you for that question. The question is whether or not Morphew, what Mr. Morphew's reaction was. And I can tell you that that's going to be part of the case, and we look forward to presenting that in front of a jury. Yes, sir.
So the male DNA was found in Suzanne's car. Are you guys moving forward? Are you guys using that evidence?
He's asking about the male DNA on the glove box.
And thank you for that question. The indictment has a wealth of information about that particular topic, as well as the probable cause that supports the arrest in this case. And obviously, we are going to do everything we can to make sure that justice is done for Suzanne, and that includes being as thorough as we can about the facts of the case.
Another question. When you arrest Barry in Arizona, so that's still investigating right now with Arizona law enforcement?
So the Arizona Department of Public Safety has been an incredible partner for us. They organized immediately when we asked them to respond when we received the indictment. So I very much want to thank the Arizona Department of Safety. What about you, sir?
What will be the biggest difference between the prosecution of this case and the time versus back in 2021?
And the question is, what would be the difference between the prosecution of this case and other prosecutions? You know, justice for cold case homicide victims remains a priority in the state of Colorado, both for prosecutors and for law enforcement. And that's despite any challenges that we may have had in the history of any particular case. That remains a priority for us. And so we have worked very hard to move forward in the case. This case is a different case, and I would refer you back to the indictment in this case. And we've worked very hard to move forward. Yes, sir.
On an emotional level or on a personal level, and it's okay if you repeat yourself, can you talk about the journey, your journey from the day this was dismissed until today? Just broad strokes, just tell us that story.
Well, thank you for that question. The question is, what has this process looked like, essentially? What has this process been like for the family, for the community, for our law enforcement partners? And I can tell you that it has been a long road. It has been a long road, and the families of the victim have been so patient. The community has been so patient. But I can tell you that our law enforcement officers have never forgot, have never given up, and they have been working so hard to get to the place where we are today. And so it is never enough to say we're just going to forget about it because it's too hard. And so that has been the process for me. And I'll take maybe one more question here in the front.
Can you elaborate further on where Suzanne's remains were found in relation to Moffett? I know it was undisclosed, but can you provide any more detail about where she was found?
So it was in and around the town of Moffett, and that raises an important question that I want to address. And so the remains of Suzanne Morphew were found in Saguache County, and that's obviously a county in my jurisdiction. And so jurisdiction in this county is appropriate. I can tell you that I have reached out to and contacted my friend and colleague, elected District Attorney Jeff Lindsay, who currently covers Chaffee County. He is in full support of our efforts to prosecute this case here and has committed to providing any resources that we need to prosecute this case.
How did you know Morphew was in Arizona?
And the question is I'm sorry, can you say that again?
How did you know Barry was in Arizona?
And I appreciate that question. We obviously have never given up on this investigation. And so working with our law enforcement partners, we were able to make that determination.
Could anyone else possibly face charges?
So right now we have the indictment in front of us, and we're committed to working hard to get that done. And this will be the last question. Thank you so much.
Just one last question. From a community perspective, this community's been through a lot with the district attorney's office. And we've watched you take it over and repair it, stand here with law enforcement, something this community might not have seen in the past. We've watched you build a staff. Now we're at the point where we've got all kinds of television cameras here because you've done what you've done in this particular case. Speak to what kind of satisfaction you have and gotten here, and is the job done with your staff, and can you now move forward?
Well, and thank you. The question relates to the status of our district attorney's office and how and where we've been in the last 3 years. And thank you for the question. The effort that we undertook to come to the San Luis Valley, that I undertook to come to the San Luis Valley and build the district attorney's office was quite tremendous. But I can tell you that the collaboration of prosecutors across the state to assist me, to assist my staff, to assist law enforcement has been absolutely tremendous. It is a testament to how strong our law enforcement community is and how united the prosecutors in the state of Colorado are. And so assisting me in building the office in the San Luis Valley, that is a testament to the assistance that I've received across the state. So thank you for the question.
Thank you for what you've done.
One last question, and when do you expect Barry Morphew to show up?
Thank you. So he's currently being held by the authorities in Arizona. He will go through a process of extradition, and when that process concludes, he will be then transported back to Colorado. So thank you so much.
How long does that take? Well, that be it for that one. Hold on. I'm trying to see if we can find him in the Maricopa County jail, but you have to have his date of birth. So hold on. Let me pull up this indictment and let's see if we can find him because it's Maricopa County. I do too, Cheesy. Green-Eyed PI, thank you. February 17th, 2021, Barry sells Longhorn Ranch for $150,000, a $15,000 loss. Same property he sold on 421 for $175. Indicated Barry needed the money fast. March 3rd of 21. I think it's supposed to continue. Well, let me show you the screenshot really fast. Hold on. So there's there's two screenshots that I have. No, I just have one of the property. So I don't know if someone can look this up. Oop. But here it is. This is where he quick deeded over to his daughter, Mallory. And Mallory and Macy have always been on Dad's arm. But it says here on the 5th of August, 2024, the quick deed, look at, see, it says acreage. And it's cut off. So I think it's land. I think it's land. I wonder how much land it is and what it's worth. Right, that's why he quit claimed this Spivey over to his daughter last year. He was pre-planning. That's why he was 200 miles from the Mexican border, in my opinion. Give me a second to get his birth date because I have to enter it to get his record here. I don't even know if it has it on here. If anybody can find me Barry Morphew's date of birth. Oh, I found it. Hold on. 10/17/67. They're shitting at working. It won't let me put it in. Look at this. I'm being blocked out. Check this out. Damn it. Maybe you guys can help me. Maybe I'm technologically disabled on this one. All right, let's get rid of that screenshot up there. Make her smaller. Okay. See this? It won't let me put in his date of birth. See this? It's not clickable. I can't do anything. And I can't type in it. Isn't that weird? He did a quit deed. Yeah, but green-eyed. Oh, thanks, Sarah. Yeah, but green-eyed, this is 2024. So what county is that in? It doesn't even show. Chaffee County? So since it's the weekend, do you think they'll make him sit there the whole weekend? I did. I did do that, and it still won't let me. And nothing's loading for me on Discord. Create. I'll just Google it because for some reason Discord's not opening for me. It's just spinning. Crap, all I see is the old one. Oh, yikes. Thank you, Shell. So the first time that he was arrested, he was charged with first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and attempting to influence a public servant. So here's the new one. Jesus. Holy hell, look at those bags under his eyes. Ooh-wee. Wow. Holy shit, we need to do like a complete side by side. This is scary. I wonder if Mallory's getting him a lawyer. I wonder who he was residing with. The girls always seemed brainwashed. Look at this photo. That's the one that's on my thumbnail. Okay, hold on. Let me get his other. Dude, this has not done well for him. Remember he had that weird bump under his eye in this other one. Ugh. Hell yeah, and his eyes are evil as heck. Very, very empty, in my opinion, anyways. Okay, so let me do this. Do this properly. So he was born in 67. So he would be like 57 years old. Wow. And you know what? He never deserved poor Suzanne. And I want to give props out to a couple YouTubers. Yeah, look at his neck. Mm. I wonder if he was surprised. Let's find a picture of him and Suzanne in their better years. What a jerk. Oh, remember Shoshana Dark A or Dark? Remember that lady, his girlfriend or whatever? Here's a picture of them. Okay. I'm just going to cut her out of it because I don't want to show them together. But here he is. Let's look at the transition of Barry Morphew. We have mugshot 1, mugshot 2, and when he was married to beautiful Suzanne. What the heck happened? Absolutely Spivey. Yeah, probably an alcoholic. Yep, that's what I was thinking. That's why I bet you he frequented a lot of those bars, right? Drinking the shit away, or trying to. It's wild, isn't it? But I have to wonder, like, do you guys remember the Draper brothers? Tyson Draper has always kept Suzanne's name out there. Like, I don't know what it was about that guy in this case, but I'm really curious what he is, if he's done anything or said anything. Nope. I haven't. Nope. Not late. Not today. Oh, shit. Hang on a second. I want to know if the daughters have spoke. Because you know that the press is going to bother them. You know it. Could he be doing roids? CR, thank you for being here. My pleasure to share this great news and justice for Suzanne. Is there no video of him being arrested? I just can't believe it. Here's the Daily Mail. Let's see what they have to say. This is from today. It says here, 2 stunning new pieces of evidence have been revealed after Colorado husband Barry Morphew was indicted for the murder of his wife, Suzanne. An indictment seen by the Daily Mail revealed that Suzanne died with the presence of a powerful animal tranquilizer called butyrophane. I'm going to have Google pronounce this, but they call it BAM. They call it BAM.
Butorphanol.
Butorphanol. Okay. Butorphanol, azathioprine, and whatever. BAM. The charging document delivered an apparent smoking gun in theatrical style. No, it didn't. So they just go on to talk about what was in the indictment. We read that. No cause of death has been given because of the decomposition, but a coroner's report said she died with BAM tranquilizer in her system. And there's also been no theories as to what happened. They gave no indication of how she was murdered and where her body was initially concealed before it was dumped. What brought them to that area? Do we remember? Let me see. See, it's been so long. It just goes to show how long these investigations take, right? No, they don't have the death penalty. Suzanne Morphew found. Let's see. Just pulling up the recent stuff. Here we go. Here's from the CBI. Agents with the CBI located remains during the course of a search on September 22nd, 2023. Oh, okay. So it says investigators were searching in that area on an investigation not related to Morphew when the remains were discovered. That's right. So it took that much time to it was an older lady. See, I forgot about that. But yeah, quite the transformation. And what good news though for justice for Suzanne, right? So that was back in 2023, September. They found a man too. I bet he thought they'd never, ever find her. And then when they did, he started planning. What county is Salida, Colorado in? Chaffee. All right. Chaffee County property records. Let's see if we can look. I'm not even sure that's where it is, but we'll try. Oh, let me share screen. Let me get his ugly mug literally off the screen. Let's do this. Okay, owner name. Let's try this. Morphew Berry. See, I'm bad at this. I don't know why I can never do this. There's nothing coming up. I think they meant like by the weather and redress her. Are you sure he redressed her, or was it just that he threw those clothes out there? I need to see that again. Let's look at the indictment again. Okay. Oh, remember? Oh, goodness, Shell. I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. At the hotel, it smelled like bleach. Hmm. Outer Banks, thank you for your $9.99 super chat. I love it when you do these for us. You are so good at it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, right here. A board certified forensic anthropologist, a botanist, and an entomologist all analyzed the remains, and several observations were noted. There was a distinct. Oh, wait. No. We got to start up here. When they were found in a shallow grave, the remains were determined to be Suzanne. The majority of her bones were recovered. Many of the bones were significantly bleached. Along with Suzanne's bones, law enforcement recovered a cancer port and items of clothing, some of which were consistent with bike clothing Suzanne was known to wear. There was no visible perimortem trauma observed. A board certified blah, blah, blah. There was distinct lack of bug activity, which was inconsistent with the remains having decomposed at that location. The clothing items lacked evidence of decomp, which was inconsistent with her wearing the bike clothes when her body decomposed. Right. So she didn't have the clothes on. He just threw the clothes there. Because he said she went biking. So maybe he would think they would think she got abducted and dumped her out there. Additionally, there was a lack of animal predation on the bones. There was only a very small amount of desiccated small tissue found on a few of the bones, and there was no hair mass located. All of these features, excuse me, would have been expected if this had been the original grave site where the decomp occurred. The forensic anthropologist opined that based on these factors, it was unlikely Suzanne decomposed from a fresh body to a skeleton at this location. Was she in cement? I don't know if it's bleach or sun bleach. Tom Honecker, they do. Hi, Auntie Cheryl. But she was moved. I think it's from the weather they were bleached. Because, like, the way they say it, they just say many of the bones were significantly bleached. But let me Google it. Okay. Bleached bones refer to bones that have had their color lightened or turned white due to natural processes or human intervention. So we don't know. This usually occurs when the organic compounds or components of the bone which give it color are broken down by factors like prolonged sunlight or chemical treatment. So if some of them were bleached, I would think that some of them were more exposed to the sun than the others that were in the shallow grave. Yeah, that's what I think. It is wild, though, because there was the bleach scent that was reported from the coworker. But we did find also that the coworker spoke with police and said he didn't show up with the right tools. He never came to the job site. Blah, 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 right? Well, hopefully, Cheryl, that process ends up with him there. What was he throwing in all the different garbage cans? Yeah, good question, Mountain Guy. good question. We're going to get a lot of questions answered, I think, finally. Totally think that finally that's going to make sense. Oh, thank you, Spivey. And thank you, Beans, for your PayPal. I'm not what did I say? Thank you, Spivey. Yeah, I said that right. Thank you for your Cash App, Spivey. That was so nice of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll be covering this as it goes down. So we'll definitely I was going to pull up some of the old videos that I have. Let's see what we have here. Maybe we can take a trip back and remember some things we don't remember from before. I've got 32 videos. God, it would seem like I had more than that. Let's see. Barry Morphew, coworker speaks out. Where is Suzanne? Barry Morphew arrested. Barry Morphew discovery, where we found out that Suzanne had the spy pen. Remember that? And then we followed his hearing. Her remains being found. Oh, let's watch this one. On a bike ride with husband Barry, later cleared of killing her. I don't know if I agree with the wording that he was cleared. I think they didn't have enough evidence and they charged him too soon. Yes, and it got all messed up. But they haven't said when his hearing will be. I think they're going to make him sit there, and it's probably going to be a process. I don't know. What another thing that Spivey mentioned that's really interesting is that Barry Morphew wanted the indictment unsealed. It was unsealed at his request. So what does that tell you? It was unsealed at his request. I have a feeling that Mallory Morphew will get a group together, if they haven't already, that believes in justice for Barry. And yes, I think there'll be a Justice for Barry campaign out there. Yeah, wild. Ann Liebler appeared in the local paper together in 1985. I didn't hear that either. Hold on. Oh, this is when they found her bike. Remember that? I can't believe he just did that. Like, look at them touching her bike with bare hands. Remember this? It's all coming back to me now. They did. They wanted a body, yes. Evelyn, I don't know anything about this case, so thank you for covering. Thank you, Evelyn. Wow, it's been 14 months already. No, I don't think he remarried. He thought he got away with it, though, yes. But look at his daughters flanking him. I wonder if they'll change their mind. Evelyn, if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them in chat. You guys can do that. I mean, why wouldn't he have gloves on? We have a lady that tonight. That's a cop, too. He got his hands all over the seat, all over the handlebars. Okay, now we have one other video. This is at the Morphew house. Oh, I remember this. These are both from Mother's Day. These are from This is the one daughter's boyfriend. 10th, 2020. And these were at 7 o'clock, around 7 in the evening that day. And this is one of the daughter's boyfriends. This is Miles. And this is in the driveway of... Dude, hold on. Isn't Lori Vallow in the Maricopa County Jail? Can we confirm that Barry Morphew is also in the Maricopa County Jail? We were, Shell. We were.
All right. What time did you get here?
6 o'clock, and then I went all the way up Fusis because she's rode up there, and I just drove the main road, couldn't find her, and then there's a couple spots that I could check, like trails and stuff, but I wanted to come back here to just like check back in and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has she ever gone up 225?
Colorado Trail right there?
Like, you know the big hill once you come
Yeah.
off the highway?
Well, she hasn't, and I haven't checked there yet because that climb at the beginning is really hard.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be out of characteristic for her to do that, but I mean, someone needs to go there, I think.
Why would you say it is like on carry?
Well, because it's kind of a crazy,
Okay.
it's kind of a crazy climb to get up there.
All
It's
right.
like not really rideable. You got to push your bike before you can start riding.
All right.
So that is one of the girl's boyfriends. Here's another one. This is his dad. The boyfriend and his
Did Barry
dad.
and Suzanne get along pretty well?
You can answer honestly. You know, I think they've had some problems.
Okay.
Yeah, in the past.
Like, just normal.
Normal husband and wife type deal. I would
They
say.
like talk about separating or anything
They
like
have. Yeah. I would. Yeah.
that? And you know this through.
Right when they heard that, yep, they talked about separating. Red flag.
Macy. Yeah, I'm very
Macy.
close with her.
Yeah,
her
it's
daughter.
important that you, at this
I know,
point
I
you
know,
tell
I know.
them anything that
Yeah.
you know
He did.
like that.
Yeah, and he is in Denver for a work job. He's a landscaper, and he's got a big job in Denver. So that's where he's at right now.
Okay.
Now, this is later that night. Barry Morphew drives up to meet deputies on his driveway in the dark. This is wild. And this is when Barry asks, did anyone look for tracks on the road? People tracks or lion? He gets back from Broomfield, where he was at. I don't know, Linda.
Hey, Barry. Besides, I know the bike was here, but what are some of the paths or like the trails like this?
She rides this road. She rides up to the top, and then she goes up to Fusis. And if there's no snow, she'll go up high on Fusis. She's went down this one a couple times.
Down this one here too?
Yeah.
Okay. So double check boost or something like that too, because I think
Well,
was
I
it
see
Miles?
different
I think
bikes.
Miles. Yeah, I know. We just want to double check everything. So yeah.
Did anybody look for foot tracks on the road?
I haven't seen anything really, but
Like people tracks? We're lying.
I didn't really notice. But I won't lie, I'm not like an expert tracker or something, you know. Yeah, so my partner is actually the one that saw it and picked it up, but it was like the top of it was weird because it feels like the top of the bike was like up this way.
So maybe flipped.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, they put their fingers all over it, so God knows what. Who's she? Mountain guy. Who's she? Oh, this is the whole video. So, yeah, I have a whole playlist. Oh, my goodness. I got it right here. One of the people I wanted to shout out for always, always, always believing in justice for Suzanne. Gonzo, the real Gone Gonzo. Gonzo, we meet again. We meet again. He says, hey, Jay, this has been months in the making. We've had our hooks in this in Arizona. Cheers, y'all. Suzanne is swinging the hammer of justice. It's coming. Much love. Always here. Gonzo, you're going to make me cry. Thank you for everything you do, brother. You are amazing, amazing, amazing. It's a good day for Suzanne. I was just talking about the Draper brothers, too. They've always kept Suzanne, like, right there at the forefront. Love you, too, brother. Stay tuned. Oh, we're tuned. We are tuned for show. Yeah, so like I said, like I showed that video 10 months ago where, you know, McDonough's driving through this area in Arizona and there's Barry hanging out at the bars. Thank you for stopping in, Gonzo. Take care of yourself out there. Stay safe. She went missing on Mother's Day, Kim, in 2020. They did not find her bones until 2023. Yeah, if you guys aren't subbed up, go check out Gonzo. Great guy, great vibes. Flo says, hey, darling. Hey, Melissa Seegers. It's good to see you. Right here. This article,
Video.
hold on. This article right
So
here.
yeah, I have a whole play.
So this article right here said Morphew led deputies inside his home for the first time to look up for any of his wife's clothing to use for her scent. I wonder if when he took the clothing, the bike clothing, all planned, threw the bike down the freaking embankment. I just want to know. I want to know more. I want to know where he put her after he unalived her. And then when did he dump her out in that area? And who was he with in Arizona? Did he find a sap out in Arizona? Hey, jammers, isn't this good news? Hashtag justice for Suzanne. So get this. I forgot about this. They found her bike down the embankment. And then a week later, they found her helmet a mile away. They found her helmet a mile away. And her cell phone has never been found. I think I saw that, Carrie, about 2 months ago. Thank you for mentioning Tyson and his brother. He did a nice remembering, if you will, about 2 months ago on Mother's Day. I'm also a licensed vet tech. Bupropion is a pain med we use on cats. Thank you, Carrie, for coming in and saying that. I know. He chased her around the house. Remember that? He said he was chasing a squirrel or a chipmunk. Something stupid. Let's see what else we have in this video. What is this? Oh, this is that guy. Remember this? Remember this? Remember this guy that was driving by? What was his name?
Man.
Remember he followed him
This
to a
footage
job
that
site?
he got on April the 29th. This video was shot on April 29th.
I don't know why that's such a big deal. I don't remember. Replay of a replay of a replay. No, he didn't make it.
What's up, Steven?
Late girl, he didn't make the concoction. It's something you can only get by a prescription from a vet, and it had 3 different chemicals in it that made the BAM, the BAM. B stands for the propanol, and then AM. There's 3 compounds in it. This isn't.
What's up, jammers?
No, it's not Dad with a phone, but look at I'm shouting out jammers. Jammers, that was kind of scary because you just came in and that we streamed this September 27th of 2023, and I just said hey to jammers.
What up, Northern Light?
Northern Beans.
What's up, Steven? What's up, jammers? What up, Northern Light and Leo? Carrie, Honeypot.
See, people do stick around. Yay!
Donna Serafina said in her reading she saw a restaurant and a man-made stream. Maybe it was Grammy's place, Honeypot. It's into construction. Sound, hold on. Man.
Dan Donovan, I am following.
He chased him on the Bobcat, remember?
Morphew and a Bobcat in Salida, Colorado, Monday.
Let me turn it up.
I want to interview with you. Barry does not want to talk to me right now.
No excuses, CEO. You said I go live when you're at work.
With the Bobcat.
Thank you.
And Barry is not taking the time to talk with me about the Bobcat and the missing woman in this case.
I agree, Tom Honaker. He is. Like, what was his end goal?
All right, you guys. I hope that you will go subscribe to
I don't know.
Daniel's channel.
Oh, Daniel.
In Salida.
We had more. I found more.
Behind that vehicle to see if it is.
Oh,
in
that's
fact
right. He
Barry
followed
Morphew.
him. I'm going to mute it. He followed Barry from the highway where he saw him towing his Bobcat all the way to the job site. Let's get to the job site. There's people that have been relentless on Barry for years. I actually love it. Look, there he goes. See, there's that white truck. Yep. Boom. There's Barry. So it looks like we'll probably have a 2026 trial. I mean, most likely. BAM is a sedative, a muscle relaxer, and a painkiller. Thank you, Flo, for making it in layman's terms. Deborah Ferris, good to see you. Can you believe, Jay? It's been a long road. Now we will see. I can't believe it. I'm extremely ecstatic for Suzanne's family. It's good to see you. Okay, so he's going to pull up on him in a minute. Shit's hilarious. There he is. Okay, listen. April 27th, 2021. So Barry thought he was just going to stick around the area and just do his, construction.
Donovan here. There's Barry.
This is where he sees Barry.
Here he is.
This was really exciting at the time, by the way.
Okay, there is Barry Morphew. It's a Bobcat.
He says you can go ahead, Barry.
Colorado on Monday morning, 12 p.m.
He went ahead and let him turn in front of him.
There is Barry.
Tom, I think Mallory
Dan,
will.
you are awesome.
I think Mallory will.
How you doing? Barry, how you doing? Good. Hey, that's the Bobcat that everybody is suspecting? What are you talking about? In the case? The missing woman case. There's Barry Morphew.
He gone.
The Bobcat.
Listen to that again. Barry's like, what are you talking about?
Dan, you are awesome.
See, Dan was in the chat. The guy that did this video was in my chat at the time. This is why he has these big bags. This is why Barry looks like this. Or like, oh, I don't have the mugshot anymore. Oh, there it is. That's why he has bags like this. This is why he looks like this now. Because of encounters like this for years and years and years and years, and looking over your shoulder and wondering who's who and what's what. Is that person staring at me? Does that person recognize me? Shit like that.
How you doing? Barry, how you doing? Good. Hey, that's the Bobcat that everybody is suspecting? What are you talking about? In the case? The missing woman case. There's Barry Morphew. The Bobcat.
I think he continues following him too. Hold on, it gets better.
So Dan Donovan, I am following Barry Morphew in a bobcat in Salida, Colorado, Monday. I want to interview with you.
I want to do an interview with you.
Barry does not want to talk to me right now.
He said I want to do an interview with you.
I want to interview with you.
You got to give him credit for trying, man.
Barry does not want to talk to me right now.
This was funny when it
because
happened.
I want to interview him.
Barry
He's a bobcat.
he took off like a bat out of hell.
Barry is not taking the time to talk with me about the bobcat and the missing woman.
Okay, so here's
In a horizontal lateral man.
this is when they reenacted the bike.
Oh.
Okay, this is the cops reenacting the bike.
I forgot about this.
My hard, push it. Push it. There it is, caught up in the brush.
This is that same guy, Daniel. Let's see if we have anything else in this video. I thought there was a...
Oh, this is the site. Look at this.
He didn't believe. So I don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. I don't think he thinks the girls are involved in any way. I think he's just putting that in quotes to say that's his belief that this scene is staged, that Suzanne was never there. And I think that's why he's calling this memorial phony. So I just wanted to clear that up before anyone freaked out about that.
Fight me, fight me. So you can check out, let's see, the playlist here.
And that playlist still exists to this day. Let's see what else we've got. This is my stream from when they found her body. But I have a lot of videos. Let's see what else we have here. It's kind of neat to go back and let's watch this. This is a throwback to Jay and Incognito Potato. And this man says he found a gun. Listen to this. I don't remember what this is about.
That for another day because...
Hold on.
This had a 22. One of his guns was a 22, but we don't know if his gun is missing.
You guys remember this guy?
The 22. But there was an unspent 22 caliber bullet on the floor next in the master bedroom of the Morphew home.
Okay. Remember that? The unspent bullet. Hey, lip locked. Put a 1 in chat if you remember this guy.
His guns was a 22, but we don't know if his gun is missing or not. The 22. But there was an unspent 22 caliber bullet on the floor next in the master bedroom of the Morphew home. So we have an unspent 22 caliber bullet. And he's pointing right now. Suzanne was found down there. And then now he's going to show you where he found the gun. And then he also found what looks like a ripped piece of sheet that looks like it might have blood on it. So now from where she was found, he pointed. Now he's going to where the gun...
Yeah, Shawl, after this.
Hold on. He's going to where the gun is. And it's like buried in the mud. See that? He said he didn't touch it. There.
I wonder if that's Barry's.
How did they not find that when they were out there looking for her?
I don't know. That's
in fact, they were out there searching for someone else as well at the same time, and there's just a revolver lying there.
Yeah. So this guy was getting a bunch of hate, he said. He was like, people are saying I faked it. He's like, I didn't fake it. He swears that he's not faking it. He actually did not touch it. He called the police or called CBI and told them it was there.
Oh, he called CBI.
And then Plunder went a step further, or actually, I don't know who he called. I shouldn't say that. Plunder actually called that county that's in. I don't remember how to say it, and asked if it was confirmed that there was a revolver found at the site. And they said, oh, we can't, we don't know. You'd have to call CBI. So she tried to find out if it was verified that it was actually found there, because she saw the same thing that we're looking at. So she was trying to find out if it.
Okay, so the date on this one is October 20th, 2023. October 20th, 2023. So he's just showing the area out there. This is the sheet. Remember the sheet?
Tiny ripped piece, and the sheets were off of the Morphew daughter's bed. The bed, I think it was Macy's bed, was stripped. Hold on, I think I rewound it.
I forgot that too.
Okay, so now there's the part of the sheet. We're going to go zoom in. And he didn't touch that either. He didn't want to touch any of this stuff, he said. Those creases sure look, I mean, like it was in a ball or something, doesn't it? How creased that is. What do you guys think? And then this person, Gator Lips, said a 22 does not enter and exit a body. Normally, it can ricochet inside, which causes more internal body damage than high caliber that goes straight through.
But there was no damage to her bones that they found. So there was no sign of any trauma. So I don't think she was shot. I really don't think she was shot, because they would have seen that. I think it was probably more of like he incapacitated her and probably suffocated her. That's my guess. I hate saying that, but Shell's request was to go back to Chris McDonough's video in Cave Creek, Arizona. So that's what we're going to do. Oh my God, that was loud as all fuck. Sorry. All right, let's skip this. Credit goes to the interview room. Again, this is a drive-by where he went in Cave Creek, Arizona. And I guess keep your eyes open for a white truck, because I think he was following Barry. There's one right there. Right there. And I think that's in front of the bar. So I guess what we're going to have to do now is count how many white trucks we see, because I think that's Barry's. You remember the very first Tyson video when he met Barry? Me too. But I'm not sure. There's a lot of white trucks. So who knows? It's kind of like white Elantras, white trucks and white Elantras. Beans, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Sneaky Suspicion, Karma Latte, Summer Breeze, Marissa, and Grim Reefer. Welcome. Hey, Olip. Look at every campsite has a damn white truck. Thank you so much, Beans. You used to manage the Enterprise rental in Cave Creek. No shit. Small world. Nogales, Mexico is 200 miles away. Bug out. He stops right here, or slows down anyways. That's what made me suspect that maybe that was Barry's Tango trailer right here.
Thank you for your
On
support.
the right. Oh, thank you for buying pizzas. I didn't catch the name, but thank you so much. I think I'm going to order a pizza tonight. It's already 9:30. Holy crap. I think I'm going to order pizza tonight. Thank you so much. But see the Tango fifth wheel? I don't know. It seems like and it's kind of got like it's kind of hidden over there with that fence. There's no vehicle there. What do you guys think? Because he slows down there, it seems something. Hi, Ministry. I know this is good news for Justice for Suzanne, for sure. So he slows down there, and then we're going to go by the establishments. Whoever sent the pizzas, thank you. Isn't this where we just were and that white truck was there and now it's gone? There's the quit claim. Says Barry, Superior Court fugitive from justice. Really? The Buffalo ship. Saloon and Steakhouse. Are you watching, Shell? You zoomed in? You looking for that truck? It was Kels. Thanks, Kels. Aw. Thank you, girl. I saw the message. It popped up and was gone so fast. Locals report Barry Morphew hanging around. That's interesting, Sneaky. Look at him introducing himself to a woman. Sleazeball. Oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm Barry Morphew. My wife went missing and was never found. She went on a bike ride and was never found. Isn't he, Olive? It's disgusting. If I was that woman, that hand, I would like bleach it like Koberger. My hand would look like Koberger if I was her. He's I think that's it for the drive-by, though. But anyways, Jammers went ahead and put the playlist in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. But I want to thank everybody for coming and caring about Suzanne. I think that it's amazing. Our online community can be so toxic at times, you know, with the crimes and the speculations and the victims' families being wound up in it all. And I think that it's amazing when we see our community come together, especially, you know, how many years later, 5 years later, we still care. And I thank every one of you because you're all very special. And this is why I'm here, is being able to follow up on these things and be able to say that there's justice going to be for this woman. So thank you guys always for being so great. We're going to go ahead and run our little credits and we're going to see our way out, but I will see you guys Sunday, we're going to dive into the JFK conspiracy and all the things that were hid. Thank you guys so much. Justice for Suzanne, and thank you for everybody who kept her in the forefront all these years. You guys have a great Friday night, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click. It's real easy, man.